Hello everyone, welcome back to Ahareoverahill. I'm Hare, and today, as the title suggests, I am talking about Inside Out 2 and my general thoughts on the movie. There might be some moderate spoilers, but it won't be for a bit. So starting off, as we get into the film, what are my thoughts? Overall, I believe it is a generally good movie. For the average viewer, it in part treads on a lot of similar but different topics as Inside Out 1. Without a doubt, and it is what it is, for the people that are going to enjoy it, I would highly watch it. But if you're a casual viewer and say, is it going to be something worth watching? Is it going to be the same exact movie as the first one? If you're asking the question, is it going to be exactly like the first one? No. But if you're asking that question, I would say watch it when it comes on streaming if you're that interested. For everyone else, I would definitely say go for it. For what you see within the trailers and whatnot, where the first movie was clearly targeting younger children and helping them understand their emotions, and we're talking children between the ages of mid-childhood into the tweens age, so we're talking 5 to 12 year olds. They help set up the baseline. Inside Out really helps set up the how do I understand my emotions at this age? How can I properly express them and all that? In which the movie perfectly frames, allows children to start framing, I'm feeling happiness, I'm joy, I'm feeling sadness, anger. Helps set this baseline. This movie does similar things. It helps younger people interpret what their emotions are feeling, but it will Inside Out 1 targeted that slightly helping people of that 5 to 10 year old range, of helping them understand their emotions. This is clearly meant for that 10 to 14-year-old, the children who are going through puberty. It's new things are new emotions are coming through, and it's really pushing that you're having new feelings coming to the forefront. These other emotions are still important, but as you are maturing and growing, you're getting new emotions, and let's try to understand these new and more complex emotions that you're going to feel, which is absolutely great. This is where we are getting into mild territory regions. I'm going to keep them as light as possible, but I have to partially touch on the major climax of the movies to really push home, I think, the two major themes of both movies, how they're and pushing the point of why these movies ultimately are fairly similar but are also different in their ways. for the first movie, it is clearly targeting childhood depression, which is a thought I would never face, and starting to understand that complexities. The complexities of childhood, all that depression, childhood depression, and whatnot, what can trigger it, and the complexities of that. Where this movie targets more, where Inside One was more internal, both of them are internal, but where it's like, oh, these are my emotions and how they relate to me. Inside Out is in how my emotions relate to people surrounding me, in that the major pushing through line is how do I connect to others, and how anxiety comes to prominence, with the major climax being an anxiety attack, which I think is, don't think I've ever had like an anxiety attack personally, but I would think that the way that this movie demonstrates an anxiety attack for somebody who is going through puberty, the extremes of puberty, yeah, it's being oversold a little bit, and maybe this is an extreme anxiety attack, but it helps with, it's like, hey, are you feeling this? Any of these kinds of feelings? Perfect. And it's, again, a lot of the, like, you somewhat got in the first movie of how different emotions relate to each other, but it's mostly internal. Now we are like, oh yeah, you still get, how does my anxiety relate to the maybe, like, how does my internal joy and my internal anxieties about things and my fears, how, like, sadness, and like, how do these all but how is it affecting the people around me, the people I hold dear, my friends, my families, and it's the, how do these emotions affect others? And I think that's a great way that the movie really frames it all. Now, overall, I would personally be saying this is probably maybe worth going to see. Let me actually pull something up. Let me just, you know what? Hold on a moment, folks. Okay, so we are back. This is one of the major things and what I personally like to do. The fresh, at least on Rotten Tomato, they're going at a 91 reviewer score with a 96 audience score. With IMDb is going a little bit lower for everything, but I am going to be saying that I am going to be generally agreeing that it's probably an 8. I would not put it at a 7, but I'm not saying it's not an 8, but an 8 for this movie I think is going to be impactful. And for what Inside Out 1 did, being a useful tool for therapists and other healthcare professionals working with younger people, Inside Out 2, I think we'll do a similar thing for slightly older children. So I think it is definitely worth its place. Am I going to be saying run out right now, go and see it in theaters? No. But it is definitely worth watching in the long terms. Granted, with almost everything, are they going to do a follow-up? I would have said it would have been near impossible to do an Inside Out 2 when the first movie came out, admittedly. But what they did with 2 was a very good one. But this is getting even, as time goes on, it's like, how are they going to, like, oh, new kid, new emotions. Oh, that is actually going to either slightly tread on Inside Out 1 or 2 even more than the second movie is treading on the first movie. Because it's like, you either have to do new dynamics with all the emotions with the new character, or they have to like, oh yeah, we are following Riley and her emotions in Inside Out 3. But obviously it's gonna be an older Riley, which for a children's movie, having, okay, maybe a 10-year-old, then a 13-year-old, oh, this is great to keep for younger people, but I would not possibly be immediately going and saying, how are they going to frame the next movie while keeping it still for younger kids, while keeping the general through line of these are one person's emotions and how they're evolving. Because, oh yeah, let's try to make an Inside Out 3 for people within their late teens, early 20s, and the emotional spectrum that comes with that. But as soon as you try to do that, how are children, like the 5 to 15-year-olds, going to relate to a 20-something? So, if they are going to continue doing an Inside Out 3 like they've been doing, like sequel after sequel after sequel, I'm gonna see how that goes. Because at least with movies like Toy Story 3, that I can, oh yeah, they follow the toys, it doesn't matter who owns them. This, they're following one person and their emotions. It's gonna be harder and harder for kids to relate to a older and older person unless they keep swapping around, like, new person, new emotional dynamics. In which at that point it's like, I'm gonna probably refer you back to Inside Out 1. But Inside Out 2 overall, I am definitely going to say is a definite, unlike Wish, which was a wishy-washy recommendation for me, Inside Out 2 is a definitive, you should watch this movie. Definitely at some point recommended watching it, because it can definitely for those with children going through this age range at the time, and it can definitely have its help for mental health care professionals. So overall, recommended, 1 thumbs up, not 2. I'm not giving it 2. I'm giving it 1 thumbs up, and agree with the stance of the IMDb of 8 out of 10 as I might say a tad bit lower than that, but I'm not giving this the 90, and the only reason I would make the 9.5, the only way I would recommend give it that high of a score is to help kids learn about their emotions. That's the only reason I would rate this movie even higher. But as a independent movie, I would say it's a 1 thumbs up and maybe a 7.5, 8 range out of 10. So yeah, I'll see you around, folks.